If I walked away from everything that's killing me, I wouldn't know which way to go. Whoa. And if I said goodbye to all these things that's killing me, well, I'd feel so alone. Yeah, I'm dying for company.
I'm dying from all of the things that I love. What comes to mind? The liquor and drugs, the feeling I get when I'm getting a buzz, the lie I keep telling myself when I run. I'm telling you now from my heart and my lungs, I'm past the point of giving a fuck. And those that know me, they know that I'm stuck, even though I be roaming and running amok. I've been ready to die, and that ain't a lyric. Them demons been siphoning all of my spirit. Demeanor ain't well, I'm barely coherent. I'm under a spell of fearless appearance, but no one can hear it. I'm screaming in vain. I reach for the sun, can't see through the rain. Don't know where to run, I just sit here in place and pretend for a second I'm winning the race. Cause
if I walked away from everything that's killing me, I wouldn't know which way to go. Whoa. And if I said goodbye to all these things that's killing me, well, I'd feel so alone. Yeah, I'm dying for company.
Lay it all out, I'm just biding my time. I wish I was dead, but I'm dying for life. Addicted to things that kill me inside. I'm looking for peace, but I'm stuck in a lie. I fight for what's right, but it's killing my ties. Stuck between people who help me to rise, and no matter the things I try to imply, I always end up in the middle of fights. It ain't easy to choose to go left or go right, so I do what I have to bring things to light. And I hope for the best, but I'm losing the fight. It's stressing me out, and I'm killing my time and killing my stress with the bottle and line. Just let me get loose and I'll make it alright. But in the AM, I'm back in the Y. I'm stuck in a vortex consisting of lies. And yeah,
if I walked away from everything that's killing me, I wouldn't know which way to go. Whoa. And if I said goodbye to all these things that's killing me, well, I'd feel so alone. Yeah, I'm dying for company.
I'm running this way for the sake of my soul. Been gun in my brain to give me a hold. I'm feeling my pain, the curtain is closed. I need a change for this burdens to go. Like a train on the way with a bag attached. Old school, better smoke over your head. I need some company when I stop at a weighted track. We're going back to the basics, man. Better be cutting it later than ever. I'm fading away to the home of the devil. Getting ready to run for the matter. The problem was happening. Someone to talk to while I'm drinking and rapping. Standing against the rain that is so packed in. But the free sets in, I reach for the stars. So the next thing is,
if I walked away from everything that's killing me, I wouldn't know which way to go. Whoa. And if I said goodbye to all these things that's killing me, well, I'd feel so alone. Yeah, I'm dying for company.
all that I can do is wait.
No one ever treat me like you did. Now there's maggots in the walls, feasting on his lips. Like it's my fault, cause I had to see your kiss. Cause I'm the bad guy, yeah, I'm the bad guy. You're about to get it now. Shut your mouth and watch us work. Got a couple demons with me, see just what you deserve. Coming at you threefold, promises don't get worse. Let me finish where you started as I bury you. Should know for the rip that your word was toxic. Couple times for the start, I blocked it. My bad, my heart was loving you, bitch. You knew the process. You acted wifey, we even picked out a wedding ring. Yeah, I'm moving in. Your motors moved on to different things. Went from investing to claiming you don't have the time to. Always choosing to be so petty. We'll be alright. Leaving early, one day I might have to take a ride. See you walking and talking, and then he gets a kiss. Next thing I knew, I was staring at my bathroom mirror. Eyes bloodshot, shirt ripped, gashes on my cheeks, something like morning. Advice from the back of my head say, one left alive and one best day. Parasites, no one ever treat me like you did. Now there's maggots in the walls, feasting on his lips. Like it's my fault, cause I had to see your kiss. Cause I'm the bad guy, yeah, I'm the bad guy. You're about to get it now. Shut your mouth and watch us work. Got a couple demons with me, see just what you deserve. Coming at you threefold, promises don't get worse. Let me finish where you started as I bury you.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, woulda been cool. Last week we was hanging out. Now you running your mouth. I ain't no better. Depression win when the shit turns out to be. How the fuck would you know if you love me when you don't love yourself? Dusting on the shell, rusting away. I could provide, I could confide. I don't open up to too many people. I don't oblige. Parasitic ways got me running from your haze. Manipulation, stimulated by the simulation. Recreated from a broken nation. Procreation didn't mean shit. Ending up in that snake pit. Ain't no way to erase it. They could try to blacklist me. I'm blackballed with the voodoo black magic when the darkness falls. I got two in the chamber, through with the anger. But the white lies got a vamp wanting to kill them all. Threatening to take everything and now you're really gone. Can you feel this blonde palm with the blood I'm on? I run the long game. You parasite leech motherfuckers, stay filled with shame.
Mirrors on, man, this shit's crazy.
Parasites, no one ever treat me like you did. Now there's maggots in the walls, feasting on his lips. Like it's my fault, cause I had to see your kiss. Cause I'm the bad guy, yeah, I'm the bad guy. You're about to get it now. Shut your mouth and watch us work. Got a couple demons with me, see just what you deserve. Coming at you threefold, promises don't get worse. Let me finish where you started as I bury you.
I can't believe I caught you red. Handed, damn it, it's all for heads. I really wanna get the gunner for you all with let. You saw my dick and told me that you did it all for bread. And now I'm here that I ain't leaving till you all is dead. Fuck, I feel like I'ma really go murder. Take a head off in the middle where they catch you with your bitch and I'ma get the bun and serve you like a hamburger. Serve. Why you got your hand up, bitch? I ain't your fucking butt. Matter of fact, just give me all your fucking money. I'ma take it off until the rubber, you gon' meet your doom. You can save it with the bullshit, I ain't leaving till your blood. Dummy. Why you had to ride this pipe though? I told you from the beginning, I'm fucking psycho. And now I'm in the middle with the mask and rifle. Throwing both up in the van, handcuffed with blindfolds. Damn, I'm about to fuck up some shit. But I caught you just sucking this dick. I want you dog cause I took a walk and I wanna bought this, then I wanna be back up in this bitch. I admit that this shit got me pissed. I'm worked up with the heart on this bitch. Don't do it on this bitch. On the real, when I pull this gun, they gon' find you on murder this shit. I'ma roll like a diesel. Drunk driver with your head up in the front seat. And I ain't with it when you're dealing with a weasel. I put the gun and they be running when I dump heat. I kill the whole house and it gets sideways. It ain't no love, ain't no fun if you don't die. I put the pistol in your motherfucking mouth. You was in the room sucking dick, bitch, don't cry, don't cry.
Parasites, no one ever treat me like you did. Now there's maggots in the walls, feasting on his lips. Like it's my fault, cause I had to see your kiss. Cause I'm the bad guy, yeah, I'm the bad guy. You're about to get it now. Shut your mouth and watch us work. Got a couple demons with me, see just what you deserve. Coming at you threefold, promises don't get worse. Let me finish where
blows, I blows the cancel out. The summer calls on me a grain of scientists. Smoking that garbage will get your headaches, man. Toking some heads to take away the pain. So here, throw your garbage bag away. Chill with G-30, you know I burn to a day. Rasta with the dreads, eyes are looking blown away. I ain't got no child support to pay. Grab some green blunts, munchies, and I'm on my way. Break it up, roll it up, and spark it up. None but silver heads up in my blood. A puff it, pass it to eat, pass his to me. With the purple leaves, then you notice these. To granny bros, we roll. Lost fries with a side of cheese, and we on the road. And look what you know about getting your eyes ready. Split the blunt, spread it. Insert that silver, then the perp. Spark up that fire nerve. Tell you on the curb, coughing up a lung. Pop the rose in a bong. Gotta share some of this hell with my moms and my grand rays. I blow haze. Lemon haze, I blow haze. That silver haze, you know I blow haze. That lemon haze, you know I blow haze. That silver haze, you know I blow haze.
Silver haze, green crack, mix it up and roll it up. Pour on whiskey in my cup and roll up the Dutchie in the gauge. Smell when the smoke a couple miles away. I get high for the fucking bit, relaxing in the pain, smoking up in my lungs. I feel the rush now, blow up the smoke and take a puff up on the air and share it with my friends. It's never gonna stop, the weed and the smoke makes the bitches pussy pop when she walks in the door and see the finest drops. Come to a smoke session, we'll teach you thugs a lesson. We don't play no games when it comes to this. We only share with the people around. That's why Mary is my girl, she is my role, the one that understands and always keeps me calm. And most will never understand why we smoking the way we do to the feeling from this plan. We'll change your life for the better, get up and take a stand.
That purple haze.
Another day at work, you mean another fucking issue. Today's gonna be the day that I fucking lose it. Or maybe I'm just grabbing on and let it fucking use me. I've been bruising pain for so many years, forced to swallow every one of my fears. Locked up for so long, it's losing its punishment. Better hit harder, cause this bitch is starting to love it. You know that I like it when you treat me like a slut. Do it how you want, do me how you want, slut. Do it how you want, do me how you want. it when you treat me like a fool. When you treat me like a fool. When you treat me like a sword. Do it how you want, do me how you want. Do it how you want, do me, treat me like a sword. Do it how you want, do me how you want. I don't wanna do a thing when you treat me like a sword. Do it how you want, do me how you want. Do it how you want, do me, treat me like a sword. I don't wanna do a thing when you treat me like a sword. Don't wanna do a thing when you treat me like a sword. Don't wanna do a thing when you treat me like a sword.
They always be talking shit, always trying to bump their lips. I said they always be on that jazz. Well, them the motherfucking niggas that can kiss your ass. I said they always be talking shit, always trying to bump their lips. I said they always be on that jazz. Well, them the motherfucking niggas that can kiss your ass.
You're all gay, I was made just for pressing your buttons. Every day I'm getting closer to the edge of destruction. Baby mama took my kid and heart and left me with nothing. Now I'm trying to carve and leave that bitch's head like a pumpkin. On the cool to set the record, I was never this crazy. Till the world turned around and decided to fucking hate me. Saying that I'm worshiping Satan and trying to play me. When I trace you, I'ma slay you and lace you across the pavement. Thanks to Google Maps, I done found out where you live at. Finna twist your wig back and leave you with your shit clapped. Mine is dark in the soul and my heart is pitch black. Probably about to blow like I'm pumping gas with a lit match. All you do is talk shit, breath is sick ass. Need to get your ass bitch slapped with some Tic Tacs. Cut the brakes to your vehicle, watch that shit crash. Molotov your car and then walk away from a big blast.
Always be talking shit, always trying to bump their lips. I said they always be on that jazz. Well, them the motherfucking niggas that can kiss your ass. I said they always be talking shit, always trying to bump their lips. I said they always be on that jazz. Well, them the motherfucking niggas that can kiss your ass.
I wake up in the morning about to spark me a split. Then I'm thinking to myself, ain't life such a trip? Considered a loser through the public abuse, yeah, but I ain't the one to be pinned up. I live a life of a sinner. I be cooking these beats up and eating MCs for dinner. I got the hustle game unlocked with my gun by my cock, with the hat to the side. You can tell by my walk, I ain't the one to be fucked with, cause your luck wet and habit. I got a heart of a savage, I'll eat you up like a rabbit, shit you out like some cabbage and black you out like the Sabbath. I got that getty green, if you know what I mean. I got the sticky situation that don't come with no seeds. I stay away from no drug called jealousy. I'm a virus to the hate, but I won't hesitate to walk by your casket, spit in your face. You know I got the means to disappear with no trace.
I said they always be talking shit, always trying to bump their lips. I said they always be on that jazz. Well, them the motherfucking niggas that can kiss your ass. I said they always be talking shit, always trying to bump their lips. I said they always be on that jazz. Well, them the motherfucking niggas that can kiss your ass. My mama always said I might meet people that were just like you, but at the same time see the evil that these men might do. In the same mind, and they see my music plans fell through to the wayside. I will never dance music too. Fuck you haters, eat a bottomless bag full of dicks. Musical generator and entrepreneur in this bitch. Y'all know trouble, you know how I do. Circle the mic in the grill of a hater trying to spew. Fuck you and everything you idolize, you bitch. To me, a man who ain't nothing but a pile of shit. Keep me you stand. I be coming with some violent shit. I'm on the list. I just escaped from the asylum quick. Yeah, I see me talking shit, let's race what does my mind do? Only thing you didn't know, I was standing right behind you. Little tap on the shoulder, you turn around and your eyes wide. Kept bunching t-shirts, watching you boss, you use your eyes. Like always be talking shit, always trying to bump their lips. I said they always be on that jazz. Well, tell the motherfucking niggas they can kiss your ass. And they always be talking shit, always trying to bump their lips. I said they always be on that jazz. Well, tell the motherfucking niggas they can kiss your ass.
walls, I see a couple of demons. Tells me Satan wants my fucking allegiance. Had to check if my heart was still beating. Blood on the floor, mixing puddles of semen. Fingerprints, so I grabbed the skull, ripping its head in two from the mandible. My reactions are more of an animal's, a fanatic for the savage and the graphical. glow in the color of luminol. Hooded fingers telling me I need to move along. A trail leads me to a hospital room at dawn. See myself as an infant child. Lucifer walks in with a wicked smile. Hands me a blade, says it's time to reconcile. Now remove this fucking heart, put it in this vial.
Into the madness, my dreams are coming alive. What is real or fake? It's really hard to decide. Into the madness, my mind is ready to die. It's only bad nightmares to you, but this is my real life.
Thought I was just thought for attention. Then I saw the devil's horns in my reflection. Animals get anxiety attacks when I'm present. Can't talk to anyone, they won't get it. The walls whispers thoughts to me, so we talk back and forth, arguing, trying to convince me that it's all a dream. And to slit my neighbor's throats as they fall asleep. Got to admit, murder can be thrilling. Believe I collect souls to each one that I'm killing. Feel like I'm Satan with a pitchfork and ceiling. Set forth to cleanse a world of souls from your children. You hear that? Seize back. That's why I think like that. Only see in black. Demons laugh. Devil's giving me a task. Says you're deaf. I release you to your path.
Into the madness, my dreams are coming alive. What is real or fake? It's really hard to decide. Into the madness, my mind is ready to die. It's only bad nightmares to you, but this is my real life. Into the madness, 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 into the madness. Let's into the madness.
Give a fuck, yo, the legend is back. I know I'm making y'all mad when I'm talking like that. Sincerely from me to you, yeah, you're living in a dream. I'm making you all scream the moment I hit release. Listen, woke up one night and had a vision. I felt like a tactician with a deadly premonition. It might sound crazy, but look into my iris, deep right under my eyelids. Maybe I have a virus. Hold it down, I'm the killing machine. I'm not just a fucking demon, I'm a goddamn king. You know what that means? You're royally fucked. You better go duck, run and cover under the mud. I've been dreaming about missiles hitting islands, killing warlords and pirates, hunting blood diamonds. When hell fades, I'll bring the prophet of Eden, summon the ghost armies. You wouldn't see the legion. Come get some. You know you want a part of this. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence. Marching down the street, yelling at the populace. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence. March, 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 march. Fill the streets of blood, you know that you really want some. March, 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 march. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence.
Their bodies lying in a single file of rotten piles. It stretches on for miles, this land of exile. I kill them with wrath whenever I snap. I'm like a train derailed heading right off of the track. There's no turning back, Jack, I promise you that. I'm bracing for the impact, cause I'm ready to crash. I swing my godlike hands in a fury and flash. Knock your stupid fucking ass right off of the map, I'm telling you. Cause this type of hell is long overdue. I shoot you in the face and now I'm standing right over you. It's obvious, no way in hell that you'll be topping this like Dr. Ock. I hate the whole damn populace cause everyone is weak now. Everyone's incompetent. No one has pride and no one has confidence. So I'm letting it out. The end has begun with a heart so dark that my hatred could block out the sun.
Come get some, you know you want a part of this. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence. Marching down the street, yelling at the populace. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence. March, 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 march. Fill the streets of blood, you know that you really want some. March, 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 march. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence.
Sound the trumpets, we send the hounds to have a luncheon, lunging at your lungs and leave your motherfuckers tongueless. Waterboarded with tongues until our bodies cannot function. Murdering discriminately from the younglings to the munchkins. Rotting in the dungeons of the men that trash like the dumpsters. Serrated blades and ass power drills for acupuncture. Curse with a bottomless hunger for death. Godless bounty hunters run for cover, find you hiding in your bunker. My army brings calamity, end of all humanity. The general with a general lack of life in your agony. Anguish, my favorite language, turning tired, loads to amity. Only let you fucking die to rob you of your sanity. Savagery, the word my personal camps to paint red. Turn third worlds in a blurred mural, paint my playpen. Put all bodies through the wood chip and just try to play dead. My only purpose in life is to bring nothing but mayhem.
Come get some, you know you want a part of this. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence. Marching down the street, yelling at the populace. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence. March, 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 march. Fill the streets of blood, you know that you really want some. March, 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 march. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence. With my weapon, I'm steady gutting these frost giants. With great power, I'm responsible to make them silent. Getting the guillotine, the kill count is killing me. Killing the competition, I burn them alive with kerosene. I guarantee you'll be down in the dirt with centipedes. You have yet to see my power, I'm afraid for my enemies. A storm so great, the sky shaking, heavens cry. There is no debate, I'll conquer fate with the great divide. Twist and radiate, giving hope to all that's lost. Geiger counter clicking at the speed of my thoughts. Hallucinate a vivid vision of venom vividly killing like Kennedy cowing his thoughts. The moment before they were missing, I've gone mad, you can't stop this sickness. I'm a new evolution, I'm more plague than human. I'm a nuisance, I'm in every needle and vial. I'm the reason for the death and the 911 on your phone dial. Come get some, you know you want a part of this. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence. Marching down the street, yelling at the populace. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence. March, 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 march. Fill the streets of blood, you know that you really want some. March, 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 march. The only way to purity is death to all incompetence.
The king had a dream that night. He woke up to the life he had before blackout. Visions of sand and a tomb. It was dark, and from beneath the sand a man came out and spoke to him. The man offered him a chance to live a life with power that would shake the world, the heavens, and the order itself. Leon asked what the trade-off is for such a power. The man stated that he would wipe away all his grief and regret that he had for so long. Leon took the stranger up on his offer. They shook hands, and Leon was burned with the mark of a demon. Leon's past, present, and future would flash before him all at once. Twisted memories that he wasn't sure what was real. All he could tell was the man's name, Seavol.
My whole life's been a waste of time. Feel like I lost my mind, can focus on my grind. The only thing I ever think about is bad shit. I think I've gone bad shit. I'm pulling out the ratchet to blast it. Put the gun to my dome piece. Pray to God that this dog may finally have found peace. Say goodbye to my homies, all my fans and fam and everybody else who knew me. Cause I was sick, I couldn't take it. I put a bullet right through my brain, both fragments on the pavement. Feeling fucking lower than the basement. The mark that I made in life, I really wanted to erase it. Rewind and replace it, go back to the basics. Wipe the slate clean, give my life a new facelift. I was lost in the darkness, alone with my hardships. Goddamn, this life's so heartless.
You ever felt you don't belong like me? Like you're surrounded by these people still alone like me? Well, I can heal you, I can help you, I can set you free. After you hear the rest in peace. Have you ever felt like you don't belong like me? Like you're surrounded by these people still alone like me? I can heal you, I can help you, I can set you free. After you hear the rest in peace. Have you ever felt like you don't belong like me? Like you're surrounded by these people still alone like me? I can heal you, I can help you, I can set you free. After you hear the Rest in peace.
Hey yo, Kiss would tell me the reason these demons are chasing me around this room. I swear that they wanna eat my soul. Trying to do better, but really I'm fed up. I hope that my mama don't get to read my suicide note. Everyone thinks that I'm doing better, but they do not see the pain in my heart. I'm ready to slit my throat. I'll put this gun up to my head, up blood pressure and scream out that God as I blow my load. I've been sitting with the devil on my shoulder for a minute. Fuck repenting, I just wanna reach the finish, but it wasn't helping. I was starting back at the beginning. I was never winning. I was always looking like the villain. My depression hit the ceiling. Now I'm having fits of rage. Trigger the gauge and try to open up my head to ease the pain, but this voice inside my room keep yelling, please don't go away. You make it out this hole, go ahead and put the gun away. Now start, like what the fuck you think you're doing if I die? How many lives am I gonna roll and suck it up? Go roll a blunt and keep it moving, cause the ones depending on you don't know what you're going through. Now stop, like what the fuck you think you're doing if I die? How many lives am I gonna roll and suck it up? And roll a blunt and keep it moving, cause the ones depending on you don't know what you're going through right now.
Never felt you don't belong like me, like you're surrounded by these people still alone like me. Well, I can heal you, I can help you, I can set you free after you hear the can't take this pressure.
Hold my breath before I fall. I don't wanna be awake. Got this voice inside my mind that tells me I am nothing great. I fail to see the good in all. Positivity is gone. Allow my soul to leave my body and my blood to hit the wall. Feel this pressure, all this pressure. Feel it welling up inside me, all this pressure, all this pressure. In my mind, can move my body, my depression, my depression. I feel it welling up inside. I've been plagued by this anxiety, and I would rather die.
I'm pissed off. I don't like rappers dropping shit songs. Jigsaw couldn't take a piece of me, my shit's raw. This all could be avoided if I would just lift off, but no one's ever listening when it spits off. Authentic life is like a box of bullshit, but I ain't gonna act like I'm not the culprit. I did what I did, I'm a man, but the shit is digging in my head. I'm about to go back to my Glock, to my school shit. But what kind of message would that leave for the kids? I guess they could teach a lesson about the demons within. If they win, you lose 1 week and that's it. After the funeral, you cease to exist, and it's a sad truth. But what can a man do? Like myself in the damn booth when I get put in a bad mood. It's like I got a glass glued to my hand. Another night hugging the toilet, passed out in the bathroom. I will never run out of liquor as long as my thumb's on the trigger. Knowing death is upon you takes all of the fun out of living. When I get drunk, I'm the villain. I got a cup full of venom and I'm drinking it with my middle fingers up to the ceiling. I got little to no faith left. Fuck minimum wage paychecks. I'm ready to go apex predator and just break necks. So stay back, you'll get eaten alive. I got a list of 1,000,000 different reasons to die, but what matters is the one reason I don't. Fuck a friend and an enemy, I've been beat up by both. My family are the ones that keep me afloat, so they're gonna be the ones with me kicking our feet up on boats. I ain't leaving a note, cause I won't leave them alone. I know I would be a big missing piece of a whole, so excuse me if I wash away my sorrows with spirits. It's the only way I know how to clean up my soul. Let's go!
Before I fall, I don't wanna be awake. Got this voice inside my mind that tells me I am nothing great. I fail to see the good in all. Positivity is gone. Allow my soul to leave my body and my blood to hit the wall. Feel this pressure, all this pressure. Feel it welling up inside me, all this pressure, all this pressure. In my mind, can move my body, my depression, my depression. I feel it welling up inside. I've been plagued by this anxiety, and I would rather die. Can't take this pressure.
Yo, it's your boy Jester the Undead.
And Sam Grimm.
And together we are Sick Fist. And right now, you're listening to Uncovering the Underground with your boy Skippy Ickham.
The bad man, to always have to be the ass no matter the situation I'm in, always having to justify my laundry list of sins. But do me a favor and take a minute and look at the shit from my position. Never stop to consider to take a gander at the bigger picture. Without this music, the soul within would rot and wither, and without a mortal coil, all the snakes begin to slither, giving way to the pressure of a beast that's truly sinister. I can see it in the bones. Wake it up. Hear the cries of the wendigo. Shake it up. The dead dwell within the snow. Take 'em out. And you feel the sickness take hold. It's in your blood. Spreading within you, it's so infectious. Give it a little taste, you see it's so delicious. Ravenous from the hunger that's become so vicious. You become a slave to your selfish wishes. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that can save me. Re-energize and reanimate. Fertility. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that can save me. Re-energize and reanimate. Fertility.
The first filling up and I'm about to like a fuse to the flame, but I guess that's how it eliminate the pain every time we do another the show, the mic is like a therapist. Pour my soul atop these noses shows when I blow. And the stage bursts a flame, and the face is filled with rage. And the pick cannot be tamed. Later waste your anguish, just immerse yourself among the waves. Let the music feel you, leaving nothing but your greatness to be claimed.
This is what my heart beats for.
And all who challenge this will be kicked out the door. Face down, ass up, with your blood upon the floor. No exception for intentions aimed at killing what we work for. Fuck you, bitches, keep it brutal for life. The day I leave this life will is the day that I die. Kill the opposition, leave recital competition. Ain't got nothing on our vision. You will fall if you come bitch and suck the dick in.
My body is a gateway for all the things that contain me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that contain me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today.
Fingertips electrified, visions inside come alive. Salvation is waiting for me to find the reason why I have not yet learned to fly. My patience is fading,
And I won't stand around waiting anymore.
I'm sick of sitting here staring blankly at the door.
I'll pick myself up off the floor.
With the strength that I need to engage the foe.
The power flows forth from below. Speaking of words to bring you home. Inscribe the message upon the stone. Fulfill the void and break the mold. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that contain me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that contain me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that contain me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today. Save me. My body is a gateway
Check it, yo, I spit that shit that make them girls go off. Spit that heat that turn your cell phones off. Super high fire, bro. Nah, but I'm not a rapper though. Jeopardizing your capital. 9/11, you rapper, so I don't need this sniper to kill you. I find you and slice up your liver while I cipher against you. Fake friends that wrote disciples and missed you. Spent my life through this pencil. For the cost, I make my life so official. Bitches ripping tissue and kicking punches while fisticuffs with ocean conscious. So ridiculous, so obnoxious, no apologies. For kicking teeth that make you fucking swallow them. Let's take this fucking battle to the collar. See 'em? Fuck boys, all you bitches gossiping. I'm a king, fuck your fucking politics. I make moves just because I'm bored. Watch this. Oh, you rhyme. Oh, you nice. Oh, you spit. Y'all got me laughing at you like, oh, you spit. You swear you sick. Oh, you wanna collab. Y'all got me laughing like.
Why does everybody think they're ill? You hardly sick. Their flu is the trick. I'm bearing news that you refuse to listen to. With you being whacked like a basic bitch. You barely pulling audience, trying to party with rap guardians, calling us like, I wanna collab. But pardon me, I'm a part of them. And honestly, if you bother me, I'm nodding out. Cause I'm sleeping on the mixtape you tried handing out. So vanish now. You're lacking assets that come with this professional sound and musicianship. Listen, bitch, 10 years I've been dedicated and never made it. And when I made some noise, the sound never faded. It resonated through the underground and surfaced up to ears of open-minded individuals that gave a fuck. I'm the crown prince of VA, believe me, I'ma leave brains busted and have y'all fucked like a three-way.
Oh, you rhyme. Oh, you nice. Oh, you spit. Y'all got me laughing at you like, oh, you spit. You swear you sick. Oh, you wanna collab. Y'all got me laughing like.
Well, shit, guess the joke falls on me. Ain't it coming out the dark with a spark? With my face painted, oh, you rap, well, so do I. The only difference is I'm raw with the mic. When you copy and paste what you like. Hey, make it tight, I'm not the type. Put a beat on, I'ma fuck you up. Taking this back to the mainstream, back to the main thing. Gotta get a college cut. Bet you wish I slowed it down, but I'll keep on chopping. And up on these rappers and leaving them shook like a sauce, death on frontin'. You need more evidence of gory and vile hysteria. You came to the right place, packing the sounds to kill ya. Why you explain the means of parody? Ha, fuck, ya mean. All I know is kill shit as I leave the scene. Covered in blood of these rappers claiming they shot up like NASA. Green up like playing for Packers. Screaming and scheming like slackers. Where I can't even vouch for you actors, I feel bad. How would you put that dream of yours inside a body bag?
Oh, you rhyme. Oh, you nice. Oh, you spit. Y'all got me laughing at you like, oh, you spit. You swear you sick. Oh, you wanna collab. Y'all got me laughing like.
That beat turns up, we start to fade out. Homie, shout out when we wild out. Hit it when the crowd shifts, that's when we black out. Grab the mic, kick, throw 'em out. Conscious goes down as we scream out. Hit the stage, feel the bass, that's when we black out. Lose control when we get vicious, that's when we black out. Grab the mic and you get lifted, that's when we black out. Name gets called, my blood starts pumping. Walking the stage, adrenaline rushing through my veins. Got the butterflies flying and got my nose like I just took something in my chest till my heart starts thumping. All becomes real like the mic I'm touching. I'm about to let it out, leaving no and nothing. That's when I black out. energy changes in the room as soon as they hear the first riff. Vision begins to quake like my brain is in a mosh pit. Through the stage we grab the mic, that's when you know we lost it. Freaking out and going crazy, oh you know we love this shit.
Now I'm addicted to something that I don't have any control of. Being a maniac up on stage, my one and only true. Living life like a madman, top of a game and business is brutal. These rhymes are reducing, keep it crazy. You think we need your approval?
Lights going out. Mind blocking out. That beat turns up, we start to fade out. Homie shout out when we wow out. Hit it when the crowd shifts, that's when we black out.
Grab the mic, kick it, throw 'em out.
Conscious goes out as we scream, we hit the stage.
Feel the bass,
that's when we black out.
Lose control when we get vicious,
that's when we black out.
Grab the mic and you get lifted,
that's when we black out. Starts to fade, shadowed with rage. Now Carcass is my name. Everyone screaming for crazy, twitching, infected with rabies. New high and it feels amazing. That's when I black out.
As the pursuits exploding, speakers, something like school of both of us. Something like a demon possessed, but in these numbers we learn trust. Or at least in our primal rage, or say there's something that we found pleasure. So much so that we won't stop the creatures and permanently remembered.
Bump to the sound and I lose it. Feels like a dream, but it's so loose. It feels like I'm possessed by a demon.
Crazy and demented.
Step on stage, a different person. Wicked when we spit these verses.
Straight in middle of passion.
We get brutal with this business. Lights going out. Mind clocking out. That beat turns up, we start to fade out. Homie shout out when we wow out.
Hit it when
the crowd shifts, that's when we black out.
Grab the mic, kick it, throw 'em out.
Conscious goes out
as we scream,
we hit the stage.
Feel the bass,
that's when we black out.
Lose control when we get vicious,
that's when we black out.
Grab the mic and you get lifted,
that's when we black out.
Ghost of the minute, Brutal Business Entertainment. We coming after everybody. Body's about to fall, y'all. Get it? Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door. Bring out your corpse. Not keeping score. Got it locked. Figure 4. Hit record. Bring the torches with the horde. Kill them all. This ain't a war. It's a massacre. This ain't a war. It's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. Fuck the world, we'll take on every single challenger. What even is this? Ain't bullshit for 100 songs. I'm all about some shit you never done. Go suck a dong. Fucking cons not ready when I bring the wrath like a fucking con. Hellfire my fucking spine. Hold mics with bloody bombs. Come along, I'll show you death cause you overstep. I'm on with tap, bury you alive, bitch, don't hold your breath. Take that fake chain, asphyxiating till I broke your neck. Raising more hell than Motorhead, hunt y'all like Boba Fett. Fuck these underground rappers too, just little nerds. Clowns on SoundCloud, shout out down, time to thin the herd. Make the rap game my prisoner, my rhythm sinister. I'm Jack the Ripper with literature, kill them when I get the urge. Been disturbed, I don't give a single fuck about your opinion. Most of these fucking rappers' vocabulary's infant. They catalogs infringement, mine's is just malignant. You don't wanna go to war with me or my contingent. Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door, bring out your corpse. Not keeping score, got it locked, figure 4. Hit record, bring the torches with the horde, kill them all. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. Fuck the world, we'll take on every single challenger. This world has been corroded and filled with rodents. Motherfuckers think you owe them and looking for a bonus. Without me, you promoters with a crash like a Bowen. Saints poet, lead them then like Moses, bring in bad omens. I'm I'm done with acting civil, bite the hand, get crippled. Opportunists all around, even fucking fans are fickle. Only there with you on top, treat us as sacrificial. Past the pistol, now I'm the devil dancing in the middle. Start with ignoramus and send them down where Hades lives. Not a fucking thought in their brain, they all just plagiarists. I'm dangerous, Amos, miscellaneous, don't play favorites. Don't give a fuck with you, a pagan, atheist, or Satanist. Better watch what you're doing inside my backyard. Don't let us catch you moving heroin powder to black tar. Turn you to track stars, repercussions faster than NASCAR. Brutal business logo on your corpse, your villain still at large. Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door, bring out your corpse. Not keeping score, got it locked, figure 4, hit record. Bring the torches with the horde, kill them all. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. Fuck the world, we'll take on every single challenger. B1, we don't play warrior on the keyboard. We'll strap your whole fucking family to some C4. Your hunchback, live your mama's basement. Your ego motherfucker put you on a detour right to the seafloor. Always brutal, ain't no time for the cry babies. Most millennials like ladies while I'm spitting rabies. They hear some shit they don't like and run to find safety. I know that God hates me, I'm Satan's Tom Brady. Get on your Twitter and blog, go eat your Tide Pods. One violence don't need a call, so fuck a dialogue. One body's outlined in chalk all on the sidewalk. Can't get in a church or a mosque, I wonder why not. If I offended you, I humbly don't give a fuck. Middle finger permanently up, bitch, don't interrupt. Feel like Thanos, I'd much rather turn them to dust. Could go on forever like Silver Fist, cause this is us. Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door, bring out your corpse. Not keeping score, got it locked, figure 4, hit record. Bring the torches with the horde, kill them all. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. Fuck the world, we'll take on every single challenger.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Uncovering the Underground Radio Podcast Show. As always, I'm your host, Skippy Ickham of Brutal Business Entertainment, and we want to thank you for checking us out tonight. Do want to apologize first and foremost for our show last Thursday. We had Painless Indenial on the line with us, and unfortunately during that episode we had some technical difficulties. A fan messaged in and let us know that there was a lot of clicking happening on the show itself from my end and not the guest, and I couldn't figure out why it was doing that because it sounded fine in our sound check prior to the show. So if you were listening into our show last week, we do apologize. End up finding out it was the audio interface that had went. I've had it for many years, and unfortunately it just happened to shit the bed the other night. So we did pick up a brand new one. I got a Focusrite, which is a great piece of equipment, and we got a couple new cords. We are back in action, and everything should sound great on your end. If for some reason it does not, please, you can instant message us on Spreaker through the Spreaker app or at Spreaker.com. Look up Brutal Business Entertainment, search Uncovering the Underground, and you can let us know how we sound. You can leave us comments, different thoughts that you have during the show, and ask our guests any questions that you might have of them. So please feel free to do so. We do air our show on all online major retailers and platforms such as iTunes and iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Play, Spreaker, Deezer, CastBox, you name it, we're on it. So feel free to follow us and like us on whatever site that you are checking us out on. The more that you do that, the more that we move up the podcasting community ranks and the bigger and better things that we can do with the show. We do want to thank our sponsors, Tattooed Scumbag Apparel. You can check them out at www.tattooedscumbag.com. Great apparel clothing line from here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, owned by Joe Ball, a local tattoo artist. Makes great clothing, very comfortable clothing, everything from hoodies and beanies to socks and sweatpants, shirts, you name it, they make it. They got great quality gear, and if you're a tattooed scumbag like me, you'd love it. We also want to let you know that we have a lot of updates and shows and things happening right now, so you can check all of that out on www.teambrutalbusiness.com. That is teambrutalbusiness.com for all new music, events, charity events that we're doing, wrestling, modeling, photography, radio, and more. So make sure you check all that out. We also want to give some love to R3 Graphics, who makes all of our flyers for the show, Roush Designs, Legion Artwork, and 5 Milligram Artwork. Much love to them. So we do have Painless Indenial on the line tonight, and we'll be bringing her on in just a moment. Let's go ahead and tell you a little bit about who she is, and we'll go ahead and jump into a little bit of the thought pattern of what's going on behind, her thoughts and who she is as an artist. Painless, are you with us tonight? Let me go ahead and try to give her a call. Some might have lost her during that intro, so let's give her a call. While you're out there, like I said, make sure you are listening to us on all the different platforms that we come across. Our shows are aired every single Thursday night. So, great way to catch up with a lot of different underground artists, whether it be modeling, acting, metal bands, rock bands, hip-hop artists. We bring a slew of different underground personalities on, and we always interview them, find out who they are as an artist and as a person. And it's a lot of fun. Every single Thursday night from 8 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 8 to 9 p.m. is always uninterrupted underground music, followed by an hour and a half of in-depth conversations and discussions. All right, let's go ahead and give her a call. And bring her on the show.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? We're live on the air. Is this Painless Indenial?
Hey, what's up, guys?
There we go. We got her back, folks. We had another little technical difficulty. She must be cursed. She's causing me a lot of problems. But we're gonna go ahead and tell you a little bit about who she is and bring her right on. And Painless Indenial is one of the most bizarre ladies that you'll ever know. She is up for any style of photography and for creating artwork and that provokes the mind. She always walks in with the mindset that she will kill it, and she always pushes her passion further. She always continues to bring you the best of her work. Other than modeling, you can find her being one with nature, finding other artistry and artists out there, and supporting the underground. did in kind of a strange way tonight, folks, but that's okay. We're right back with it. On the line, we have the beautiful Painless Indenial. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm okay. Just wondering what the heck was going on. I was like, oh no, did I break it again?
I'm hoping not. You better not cause me any more
you?
technical difficulties. I was just telling the folks before we got disconnected that, unfortunately, I had that interface for years and it ran really well for me, but you end up being the person who it broke on. So I apologize for any miscommunications last week with my equipment. We got that up and running again, thankfully, and got you on the show. Although, like I said, we somehow dropped the call, which is also a first. So my fans are getting to witness some fun stuff. So, but no, thank you for coming on the show. Like I said, we did have you on last week. We started it out, got about this far before the show completely shit the bed. And I'm going to kind of jump back into where we were last week, and we're going to pick it right back up. You were telling us, how it is that you got started, what age that you decided you wanted to start modeling, and what kind of got you pursuing that path.
All right. Well, when I was younger, I want to say it was about 14 years old. I remember I was like very isolated from the internet world, so I finally kind of got introduced to it. And I remember there was this stuff called site modeling. And I used to see like all of these alternative girls like dressed up doing all these like crazy photo shoots, and I was like, you know what, I bet I could do that. I look pretty weird. I got some cool ideas. So I started doing it, and it was kind of just for fun. Like I thought, like, why not? Like I have nothing better to do. And it just slowly grew into a profession that I take very seriously now.
Well, you should. You do very well with it. And I think it was a right choice for you to have made that choice back then. So, and you do have kind of unique style. So as you said, I can see that poking through with your artwork, that you got into some strange things, not your normal modeling, that you were like, I like that. That's different. I could do that. And I think you've always kind of kept that true.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We got people
I'm all for it.
Absolutely. We got people leaving comments here calling you a witch. Because your powers apparently have taken down the show.
Yeah, feel like I'm a witch.
Hey, that's all right though. We're gonna keep it fun for them. So that's how you got started. How long have you been modeling for at this point, roughly?
Well, I think when I started BB is when I started like becoming a model, because I took like a few years break. And in that time, I was just kind of getting everything into place. Like, I just graduated high school. I just wanted to get a job and, like, start maybe going to, elevate my education. And I did. And then I thought, well, that's really where my passion was, like, after school. I was like, I think that's something, like, I would like to do, like, potentially, like, a side career.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, for those that, that are listening out there that don't know, Painless Indenial is a part of our label here, Brutal Business Entertainment, who also brings you the radio show this evening. And, she does very well with us, and we're glad that we came across her, because as we said, she has a very unique style and look. And if you haven't checked out her work yet, please do. You can search her on Facebook or pretty much any of the online social media platforms. You're just looking for Painless Indenial. So how'd you come up with the name?
Honestly, I really don't know. Like, when I was younger, I think it was just, like, I felt kind of painless to everything. Like, everything was going on around me was, like, pretty crazy. And then I was just kind of felt like I was in denial of it all. Like, oh, this isn't really happening. Like, oh, I really don't feel anything at all in the world. And I was like, that'd be cool if I mashed it together. And I just kind of stuck with the name, and I've kept it through my platform since I was about 14.
That's awesome, though. I mean, sometimes when you find your name, it's your name. If you have that other alter ego inside you, you know what I mean? That you give it a name, it usually ends up sticking. I mean, I've been Skippy Ickham for a very, very long time, and it just stuck. And I know a lot of people always said, Skippy Ickham, what the hell is that? Where'd that come from? It's kind of the same thing. I don't know where it came from. It was just kind of there. And it's always been there. It might be weird to some, but it is what it is. That's me. I can't help it. That's who I am. So I'm glad that you certainly found your name and stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
yeah, people kind of questioned me, too, about it. They were like, it's kind of weird. Why'd you pick that? I'm like, I don't know. It just sounds cool to me.
It feels right. And that's all that matters is if you're doing, a passion or an art, it should be for you first and foremost before it's for anybody else.
Right.
Now, for those out there that don't know about your style, how would you kind of classify yourself, or what would you describe yourself as having as far as like a look for people who haven't seen your work yet that might be listening?
Oh gosh, I feel like it's a huge range of stuff. Like, I can do the whole like creepy, like weird, out there quirky shoots, and then it's like kind of dark style, like more like dressing, like I guess you could say goth and stuff. And then I want to start getting more into high fashion. I say I'm a high fashion model, but that's mainly where I'm aiming for.
Okay, that's interesting. So definitely, something that I could see you doing, but that would be kind of a shift for a lot of people. I think that would see that and say, "Oh, wow, she's kind of went a different side with it." But that's awesome.
Mhm.
That's great. I mean, you certainly have put out a lot of different material, as I said, that has a range of looks. I've loved your different shoots that you've done over the last few years. And I mean, the years have flown by. I mean, how many years have you been with Brutal Business now?
Oh, I believe it's, I think, 2.
Are we
2
going
years
on?
now?
I think it's about to be 3 whenever it flips in the new year. Is that correct?
Yeah, it'll be 3 years in the new year.
Okay, yeah, somewhere around there. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, we've certainly put out some good material together, and that's great.
Definitely.
And I look forward to everything to come. What can the fans expect as far as things coming up?
Things coming up. I know I have this shoot in January, and I think I got the girls in on it. So we got kind of like a group shoot with different photographers. I'm planning a bunch of other like styles of shoots. Like I said, more high fashion, so I'm thinking of more like gowns and like probably crazy headdresses. Then I was thinking more of like going into my dark side again, like horror abandon. And then I was thinking about probably doing like a succubus cosplay. It's been something I've been putting off for a while now.
I'd love to see that happen. I think the fans would as well. I think it'd be a cool look. I've always been a big fan of the darker photography and the horror photography. It's always been something I've personally had a love for. Obviously, I mean, I'm kind of just everything involved around me is kind of dark, but it's just the type of stuff that I like. It's not every day that someone can pull off the dark look. I think you do that well. I think the succubus would be pretty cool.
Yeah, hope so. When I have like envisioned for it, I think it's going to be a pretty wicked shoot.
Good. Now we got fans leaving messages. Anthony says she is awesome, and ooh, succubus cosplay. Now,
thank you.
You guys have, if I'm not mistaken, a project coming up with the Brutal Business Babes of Brutal Business calendar. Is that correct? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be out like soon. Like we have the sales out now. When we were shooting it, it seemed like short-lived. Like I love doing it, but like when you got there, it was like we rushed, and then it was like everything was done. But like at the same time, I was enjoying everything we were doing. I feel like we had a lot of great ideas going on. We were all ready. We were all confident, and we blew it out of the park. And I really can't wait for people to see this. Like I think they're going to be like mind blown.
I think so too. I mean, as someone who certainly has been in the background of it over the last couple of years with the planning and the ideas of coming up with it, and and us putting it out and the fruition of it happening and now seeing it, it's pretty amazing. I think that a lot of people are going to love this calendar. I think they're going to love what you girls did with your outfits, with the poses, the overall composition of the layout of the calendar as well. I mean, I really think this will be a big project for people to have. So if you're listening out there, make sure you look up the Babes of Brutal Business 2020 calendar being put out. You can't pass it up. We're doing pre-sales still right now on our site, teambrutalbusiness.com. You can get it for only $15. You'd be stupid not to. After New Year's, the price does go up, so pick up a copy of that. Now, as you said, something that kind of stood out to me is you said it was short-lived. You had a lot of fun, but it was over so quickly that it's kind of sad. And that's how a lot of projects are. I mean, I know personally for music videos, that's how it is. You put a lot of time and planning into this project, and the day comes, boom, 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 the project's done. And you're like, well, shit, that was like 2 months of planning for 4 or 5 hours of a day to be done and now over with.
Yeah, it was just like, I don't know. I just love being around the girls. It's always like a big like mood boost for like me. Like I go home and I feel like everybody is just so kind and we're all like always brainstorming ideas. Like when we get together, yeah, we might be working on something, but we're always like it bounces off and then we're going to be thinking about something else and something else. And that's what I like, that I like that we all have the same drive and the same passion to do what we do. So that's why I was like kind of sad it happened so fast, because it was like we had all these crazy ideas and we had all these things going on, and then we got there, we got it done. Now it's a good memory at least.
Absolutely, and I think it'll be a good piece of Brutal Business history that'll last forever. I mean, I think fast forward 4 years from now, people can still have access to go back and see the pictures from that shoot, might still own that, copy of that calendar, and that'll live on. And if we do another one, then they continue to stack on top of that. So I think it's definitely a very vital piece to your guys as a group and a team, and I think you all knocked it out the park.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, talking about, a lot of planning, there's a lot of things coming up within the team musically that we're doing and have planned, and, the recent release of Anthems from the Asylum mixtape that we recently put out. So talking about music and talking about, in a more darker arts and things like that, is that what you're listening to? Do you normally listen to darker music, or what kind of music do we catch Painless Indenial, jamming to on a normal daily basis?
Oh, I listen to everyone on Brutal Business. Like, I really love their music. So there's many like genres and styles of it, but we are like definitely darker. So besides that, I'm like, I listen to probably metal and rock, like not so much like the super heavy stuff anymore, but that's where I lie. And then I've always been a horrorcore fan, so I'm always listening to, Psychopathic and MNE,
Okay, absolutely.
Like
Now, I mean, is it usually, as you said, always kind of more heavier and darker, or do we, is there some straight left field stuff that we could see Painless listening to?
There's I do alternative. That's thrown in there. I found a few new age people, I want to say. They're not exactly pop or anything like that, but they're out there people. A lot of my music is just, I don't know, I guess it's more funny vibes and everything's it's kind of a joke, but they do it tastefully, and I'm I absolutely love that. I love irony and stuff like that. So I guess that's little bit weird for me if you think about it.
Okay, so yeah, nothing too far out, but I mean, I hear you. So I didn't know if there was any ambient bluegrass, coming on from time to time, something completely just what the hell are we listening to right now?
No, I mean maybe once in a while if you consider I listen to indie rock music, if that's it has crosses of bluegrass in it, so I guess you could consider that. But not exactly.
No, I got you. No, there's nothing wrong with anything you like out there. I always tell anybody, everything you listen to influences who you are, influences the music you make. So it's all part of a puzzle. Everybody's has to be different. Everybody. Yeah, I listen. Myself listen to a lot of really crazy stuff, and a lot of the guests that we have on the show sometimes will name things, and I'll go listen to it and be like, "Wow, that was out there."
Right.
But I love it. You know what I mean? It's all great that the music is endless. It's a sea of endless, possibilities.
It is.
Now, if you had all the time back that you have personally spent putting into your modeling, that you've spent taking photos, thinking of outfits, everything, the entire bundle package of your time spent in the modeling side, and you had all that time back to put it into one other thing, what would it be?
Well, besides modeling, my first thing ever that I actually wanted to do was get into music too, because that was my passion for years. I was in band since I was in grade school into high school, and I kind of taught myself other instruments throughout the year. I learned guitar by myself. I tried to take classes once. That didn't go as planned. And then kind of taught myself bass guitar. That was probably one of the main things. When I was 14, I went out and I bought everything, and I was super proud of it. If I had all that time back, I would definitely invest it into just being a musician again.
Okay, no, that's admirable. So putting it back in. Now, is there something specific you would do in the music, or would it just be in the music in general? So I didn't know, would it be guitar, would it be bass, would it be singing, or is it just overall music?
Probably, I did want to get back into playing bass guitar. I think that would be cool, just to, throw a little band together. I know a couple of my friends and I have talked about, throwing together a band and, just goofing off and seeing what we create. But at the same time, I also love singing. I think, I have a weird voice that I could probably do some cool things with, too.
Well, hopefully the world will get to hear it at some point in time. I would personally love to see what you come up with. As a old school jammer myself, it's always good to get with some buddies and some friends, make music, and whether you're going to play out and be a band that's going to be serious and play out, or if you just want to be some, folks that jam in the garage, that's fine. It's just fun to get together with other people and collaborate. I think collaborating music is an amazing, amazing thing.
Oh, yeah, it is. I think it's wonderful. It's the one thing that I've always had to turn to, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. It's just always there for you when you're happy, sad. It just makes things better.
Oh, it does. It's the the key to everything. It's funny because in rap you have 5 people that collaborate together. It's just a collab, but you got 5 people that collaborate together on guitar, bass, drums, and singing, and that's a band.
Right.
It's kind of funny like that. It's you don't think of it. There's not a lot of groups. You can only go so far with rap. I mean, it's great and I love it, but you got 5 guys together, it's really just vocals. But when you get 5 people together, you can mix 5 people with another 5 people with another 5 people, and every time you're going to come up with something completely unique that can never be simulated again.
Everyone's going to be different because everyone's opinions are just thrown in there, and you all got something going. I think it's awesome.
Absolutely. Now, so who would you say is your favorite artist? I mean, if you had to pick one artist, you say that's like my favorite of all time, because everybody has at least. I know a lot of people say that's a hard question to answer, but I mean, there's still always one that you're like, oh man, they're the one. I'm putting you in the spot.
One band,
one artist, whoever, just one person musically that just blows your mind.
I'm going to stick with the one that I've been in love with since I was 12 years old, and that's Slipknot.
Okay, that's a good choice. You really can't go wrong with Slipknot. For years, I've been listening to them personally since 2000, and they have always been consistent. They've always been a great band. They've always kicked ass. I've seen them 5 times, and the most recent was this past year here in Pittsburgh, and they were just as good now as they were 19 years ago when I seen them. And that's saying something. 19 years later, they're still on stage just fucking killing it. They're rocking. They're putting on a tasteful, hardcore, in-your-face adrenaline rush show all these years later. And not a lot of bands can do that.
It's pretty impressive.
It is pretty impressive, because there was a few other bands that they toured with this past year, and I mean, they're bands that are great. I love them, but watching them, it's just okay, they're okay. You're watching them on stage, and you're just kind of bored. But they came out, and it's just holy shit, okay, all right, the show has started, and that's impressive, and they've always done it. Corey Taylor, I think, and me and my wife talk about it a lot. My wife's a huge Corey Taylor fan. I think that Corey Taylor's one of the best frontmen of all time.
Right, that's how I feel too.
I mean, whether it be with Slipknot or whether it be with Stone Sour, I mean, his energy and how he performs, and he just puts off a presence. You can watch a good singer and still like the band, but there's certain singers that for some reason they put off a presence into the crowd, and you feel them. You're like, all right. And he's one of those dudes that does that. He puts off a feel when he performs, especially with Stone Sour, because the fact that you don't see him in a mask and you get to see him as more of a person. And then you see him in Slipknot, and he's more of the beast.
Right.
And I love that. You get to see both sides of it, and you're like, wow, this dude's a fucking genius. And that's great. And I'm glad to hear that that's your answer. It's one of my favorite bands of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what do you think of a lot of the music coming out nowadays? I mean, you got different people that say, yeah, hey, music is consistently evolving. You might not like it right now, but it's just what it is right now. It's this wave. It'll change again. Stop being a dick. Because I sometimes have a hatred towards a lot of newer music coming out. But you have other people say, no, it's absolute trash, and there is nothing really good coming out, and it's fucking watered down garbage. What's your thoughts on the state of new music right now, whether it be hip hop, metal? There's been certainly changes from 5 to 8 years ago in the sound of all these genres to what it is now. What's your feelings on it?
Oh man, honestly, I don't want to call all of it trash because maybe there is some out there I just haven't found yet that is pretty good. But yeah, a lot of the new age music, just I feel like there's not a whole lot of like thought process into it, or like, I don't know, more emotion into it. It's just, here, I'm going to make this real quick. I'm going to throw like a beat or something behind it, or I'm going to get these people to remix my song, and it's going to be great. And then I listen to it and I'm like, there's nothing really to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most, and it makes it really hard because there's two sides to it. You have the mass media, general public side of the music that you see, like the people that the labels push for you to see, that are really watered down and garbage. There's always, within the structure of that and the cracks, you're always going to find really good bands. I mean, in hip-hop, I could name you 20 different rappers that are just absolutely mind-blowing, but you never hear about them.
Right.
But I mean, what you hear, the ones that they're making a buzz, that are really getting big and help getting the hand, is usually absolute dumpster juice, and that's what's happening in rap, and obviously I think even in metal, but metal's starting to make a comeback the last like a year or so. But for a while there, it sucked. I mean, it was like every single band was the exact same. There was no originality for a while. There's still a few here and there, but it was scarce, and then now all of a sudden metal's coming back, and so are a lot of other bands, really. Funny enough, me and my wife were talking about this the other night, that if you folks haven't seen out there, there's like returns of all kinds of older bands all of a sudden back on tour. There's like 10 different ones we were talking about the other day that are coming back this next year and playing again, like Rage Against the Machines. You got Motley Crue. You got all these other bands that are coming back and doing, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love all those bands, but it's just funny. It's full circulated at this point back to the beginning, and now it's just reliving the same music because they ran out of ideas.
Right.
It's like, it's time to come back. The music's dead. We need to bring it back.
That's what I was thinking, because we were like talking about this the other night too. We were like, all these bands are coming back. Are they just like trying to save what was being created there for so long? Like, okay, this is enough. Like, time to give people what they want.
Well, it's the thing is, I mean, and I know every decade or every generation has its own music, its own sound, and that's okay.
Right.
But for years, it was always a great sound. Think of the 50s and think of oldies. There were like a certain sound to them. They were really good, though, because we still to this day listen to a lot of those classic oldies.
Right.
Those were the amazing hits happening at their time, revolutionary music. Then the 60s came in and the 70s came in, and you started turning into more hippie style, Vietnam era music, and it was a completely different sound than the 80s, and you started getting keyboards and like Van Halen coming out and the hair metal, and then the 90s grunge and rock, and then the 2000s hip hop and new era sound. It's amazing when you think about it. But since I think probably 2000 to 2010 was the last time I feel that music was really original. They like hit a peak. And since then, it's just been stretching out the same already released sound and music. There hasn't been a lot of change. Every decade, you notice such a huge change in music, but it was like 2000 hit, and we did have a lot of like Dr. Dre and Eminem and sounds like that. And it evolved one step since then, but then hasn't evolved since then. And it's pretty crazy when you think about it. I mean, it's about to be 2020, so it almost makes me wonder, is it going to be the flipping point?
Could only hope so.
all kinds of old bands are going to come back now, and it's going to, kind of set forth a whole new sound again, or bring back an already used sound, because creativity is dead.
Yeah.
I'm cryptic tonight, folks. I'm being dark. Anthony left a comment saying, industrial is making a big revival. And I mean, that's awesome. I never been a huge industrial fan. I do like industrial. I respect it for what it is. I just can't listen to a shit ton of it. But when I was younger, I used to listen to like a lot of KMFDM and shit like that for a while. I loved KMFDM. Do you know what KMFDM's name was before they were KMFDM? MDFMK. Try saying that shit on the radio 3 times fast.
Oh my freaking God.
Anthony, if you're listening out there, buddy, leave a comment if you've ever listened to KMFDM.
Oh, I imagine he has.
I'm sure he has. Great band. We got Sam Baumgarten putting Disturbed, even went kind of industrial. I don't know. Here, I've seen Disturbed last year, surprisingly. I've seen Disturbed like 8 times, and they've always been good, but they've always put on a really great performance. Don't let me fool you. It's just never been one of those ones that completely like blew my mind, but it was good. Like, you're like, damn, Disturbed's a killer band. We seen them last year, and they did this whole, came out in the middle of the arena and sat at this table and played like this bongo, like 10-12 minutes special little interlude music piece. And we had the floor set tickets, so we were standing like 25 feet from that little bongo area that they came out. It was like completely unexpected, and they came out and played the bongos and shit. It was really cool. I've seen Disturbed many times, and they've never done that. It was very personal, so much love to them, but hopefully they don't go too industrial. I guess I can see where you're coming with, from that. I guess I could see a little bit of influence from that.
Yeah, I didn't even know they really were. I guess I'm gonna have to look into it. I haven't listened to Disturbed in years. Sad to say. I'm sorry, guys.
That's all right. They're a good band. Like I said, you're either with them or you're not. I mean, someone's saying Karma Christ is another good one. Yeah, they're pretty good. I've listened to a few of their tracks, but
yeah,
not a huge follower of their music, but they're pretty good. Everyone has been changing, and I still like a lot of the old bands I did in high school, even after the change. I think sometimes we grow with the music change, and sometimes we like the same sound and don't want it to change. I feel that, but I think if you're doing it right, then okay. But like I said, it's 2010 to 2019, there hasn't been a lot of new artists that completely just wowed me to the point where I'm like, wow, we're evolving as musicians, as a base of music. It's kind of stayed the same, but it's kind of dropped in talent. What they're pushing on a mainstream scale at this point, you can't say it's really evolved from where it was. It's went down. So I get, Damien, I get what you're saying there, buddy. And I definitely think if it's staying same and it's staying good, then absolutely. But if it's going downhill, you need to replan the recipe and rebake it.
Yeah.
Listen to their newest album. Someone's telling you to do for Disturbed, because you said you haven't listened to them. They said listen to their newest album.
All right, I definitely do after I get off the phone.
Yeah, I haven't listened to them in a while either, except for when I seen them last year.
Yeah.
Now, I ask a lot of artists this, if you had to think of something that in your career as a model or just an artist or whatever, through your experiences so far, the one thing that you don't regret doing, but you certainly wouldn't do it again. It's happened. You can't go back on it. You learn from it. You don't regret it, but you're like, wow, if I could go back and change that. Because some people say it's putting the trust into the wrong people. Some people say it's not taking it seriously at first and giving yourself the disadvantage of not getting serious 2 years later on. There's a lot of different things and answers that I get on that question. What would yours be? What's the one thing that you wish you could change, that you learned over time as an artist, that you'd go back and change if you could?
I think it would just be like my networking with people. Like if I started years ago, I feel like I could have made like stronger bonds with photographers, and I could have put out a lot more work, because I'm still like kind of scared to like meet people. It's just one of those things that, maybe they won't like me, or maybe they won't like my work or how I look or this or that. And it's like that doubt I've slowly learned over the years just needs to go away, and you just need to go for it. So I wish like maybe that.
I think that's a good one. Is networking is key. And I was victim, or I don't know if I could call myself a victim, but I was victim of that, years ago, because I would go to shows with my band, we would play, we would kill it, and then people would talk to us after the show, and then they'd realize it's us. But we'd show up before it was time to play, and we would hang out at the venue, and we'd be in the back corner. No one knew who we were. They didn't know which band we were, or if we were even in a band, and we'd hang out the whole night in the corner, and then we'd go play, and then we'd talk to a couple people if we were lucky, and we'd leave. We were very antisocial, and we damaged ourselves for a long time by not interacting with people, and then finally we're like, hey, we need to start just going around shaking hands whether we know these people or not, and just saying, hey, it's nice to meet you, thanks for coming out to the show. Engage with them, because that's going to give them the ultimate experience. And then we started doing that, and obviously that helps build much, much quicker. It was weird, sometimes you have to break out of your shell, even though that's not you as a person. You have to say, you know what, I have to put myself out there in order for something to happen.
Right. And that's like one thing I have struggled with a lot. Like I'll go to like shows sometimes, or even like I said, like just messaging people and trying to get out there. And I'm just like, I want to talk to them and, introduce myself, or just, talk about random stuff with them. And it's just, I hold myself back, and now I look at it and I'm like, all right, got to stop doing that.
No, I agree. Now, another question I want to ask about, with being obviously a model and with doing photos and things, do you find it hard to find photographers or even other models to work with that are worth the time to, work with? Or because I know as a photographer myself, there's a lot of people who want to say that they want to be serious and they're not serious. You plan shoots, the model cancels the day of or the day before, or the photographer cancels the day of, day before. They don't take it seriously. There's just a lot of fuckery going on, or, you're trying to meet up for a shoot, people ain't on time. On your side of things, from your perspective, is that a hard thing? Because I know that's a problem. I know there's a lot of really shisty and sketchy cats out there taking photos as well.
Right, yeah. I have, it's been like that because I've tried reaching out to photographers, and I'm like, hey, I have this idea for a shoot. I'll send them some, like, outfits or something, like, when would be a good time to work together when you're open, and a lot of them are like, oh, I'll get back to you with some times and dates, and it's like they never do. Like, I'll message them again and be like, hey, like, you have any dates for me? And it's like more people blow me off before the actual shoot even happens. Like, I don't have people where it's like, okay, we're going to do it this day, and then they just cancel. It's more just setting it up. And I don't know if I'm going wrong about it, or if it's just people just shady, or maybe they just don't have the time for it.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. You got to decide if you have the time for it, because it can't be one or the other. You can't be like, well, I don't have the time, but I'm going to message people to try to set up shoots. I'm going to talk about how serious and how bad I want this, but then don't ever have the time to do it, because then you just fuck everybody. You're not just screwing yourself up because you're never doing yourself a justice. You're wasting even more time. But you're also screwing over the people that you want to work with. And I know a lot of people in the scene of modeling, unless you're on a bigger level, unless you're actually out there doing it. All the girls at Brutal Business are constantly putting out material. There's a lot of other models that are constantly putting out material, but you have ones that they just take it as a game, same as a photographer. Like they take pictures and they never get your pictures back. Or they're just some fucking loser creeper with a camera that just says they're a photographer and takes pictures of girls. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of fuckery going on. So, tell us a little bit about, is this something you've come across? Have you come across people just absolutely wasting your time, never getting your product back, or just being complete, weirdos?
Yeah, I've had a few guys, like, completely be weird. Or like, hey, if you come to this shoot, like, oh, we can go drink, or we can come and, like, do some, like, crazy stuff. And I'm just kind of like, no, like, this needs to be at a professional level. Like, that's not cool. I get a lot of people like that. And, just for me, I normally just, like, let it go. I'm like, hey, thanks for the interest, but no thanks. And a lot of people get mad, but it's just me protecting myself. And then there's
a lot of people get mad. The people getting mad are the fucking weirdos that are doing it. So, that really doesn't even matter.
Oh, yeah.
It's just funny how you said that. A lot of people are getting mad. Yeah, a lot of fucking weirdos getting mad.
Oh, yeah. I've had people where it's like, hey, like, have you got my shots done? And they just like, oh, yeah, like, I'm working on them. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, okay. And then it's like weeks later, and I'm like, hey, are the shots done? And they're like, well, I've had more important projects. And it kind of makes you feel like you weren't worth it. So you just kind of wait, and you're like, okay. And then I get the products back sometimes, and I'm like, these aren't that good. Like, I'm sorry, but okay.
And it's tough. I mean, you know, I understand sometimes it taking longer, because as someone who does a lot of different things, I know sometimes it even takes me a while to get back pictures. But the key to that is communication. If you talk to that person, let them know, hey, I'm sorry, there's some more delays, or this is happening. I don't mean to sound like a broken record. Shit's going on, but at least I'm staying in contact with you. It's whenever you just go fucking blackout, or like the person just vanishes. They take your picture and then they're not on the internet again for 2.5, 3 weeks.
Right.
And then you're like, what the fuck's going on? I didn't get my pictures. I haven't heard from this person. And I know from talking to other models that I've worked with that's happened to several people that I've dealt with, that they've went and done a photo shoot and then never heard from the person again, or never got their product or their photos back. And I'm like, wow.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's crazy shit. So what was the purpose? I mean, the only thing I can think of is it's the guy getting with them just to be around them and take pictures of them, like some type of weirdo, like stalker. Because I mean, if you're not even giving them their product back, that's strictly just to like be around them, and that's weird.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like disheartening, because you kind of put yourself like in a situation where it's like, okay, I kind of got to trust this person. And then when you get nothing in return, it's like, well, there went all my creativity, my time, my effort. And it's kind of disheartening, but you just got to remember, like, hey, you learned from this.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have to be careful with who you work with, not only because you don't want to waste your time and creativity, but you never know who out there is dangerous. So if you're listening out there, folks, whether male or female, I'm not just saying to the ladies, anybody out there trying to model, be careful. There's some fucking weirdos out there. I can tell you firsthand that I've heard some stories. There's one gentleman in particular that is known in the Pittsburgh area as being a complete fucking creepo weirdo. So you got to be careful with who you're doing dealings with, because there are some absolute predators out there.
Yeah.
So just be careful, folks. And if it doesn't seem right and it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Now,
protect yourself at all costs.
I think the big question that everyone is really, really wanting to know.
Oh no.
is if you were given an elephant and you can't sell it and you can't give it away, what are you doing with that elephant?
I'm just gonna ride it places. That sounds pretty convenient.
You're just gonna have like a taxi elephant?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I dig it. Now, can you tell me, if you had to pick, these are questions that everyone gets asked. If you had to pick what animal would ultimately rule the entire world of the animal kingdom, what animal would it be? It can be any animal, but you have to tell me the reason why you think that it could take over the entire regime of animals. We've been told lions, we've been told bears, we've been told all kinds of wonderful and crazy ideaed things and ideas behind why. But what is yours, and why would it ultimately be the king of them all?
Oh my gosh. Now you got me thinking. I'm just gonna say I want deer too. I think it'd be kind of funny, but at the same time, now I'm thinking like more male deers. I'm guessing they have antlers. They could probably tear some crap up, and they got some pretty strong legs.
You are going with deer.
Oh yeah.
That is a first, ladies and gentlemen. Deer. No, most people wouldn't think of deer because, deer, you kind of don't really think of deer. When you think of any type of animal for any situation, deer really doesn't usually come to mind for me. So that's awesome. That's a left field choice that we don't normally hear. So you just think because they're fast and they're able to jump high, they got some agility, and there's a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how many deer are out there. If all the deer ganged up, there'd be a lot of deer out there, especially if you're talking like all breeds of deer.
Yeah.
I was over in Colorado a few years back, and we were in the mountains, and obviously because Colorado's is the mountains, but we were higher up on the mountain, and we seen these mule deer, and they were massive.
Oh geez.
Just these massive buck. And like you said, they could fuck something up.
Right, they could.
Absolutely. And let's see, we got some comments coming in here. I could totally see her riding an elephant around everywhere and just being like, I have arrived.
I could see it too.
I got someone saying, Anthony's saying, Dear Apocalypse.
That would be insane.
That's interesting. Now, can you tell me why, manholes are round instead of square?
Wait, what?
You heard me. Why is a manhole round instead of square?
I have no idea.
There was an extreme silence. It just went absolutely dead. You're like, I don't even know what to say to that.
I was trying to concentrate and think of something. I'm like, there's no answer.
That's great. No, I don't know either. It's just one of those questions, folks, we'll never know the answer to. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break here. We are going to jump into The Intrusion by Lyrazone here on Brutal Business Entertainment. And we'll be right back after these messages on Uncovering the Underground.
Yeah, yo, dressed in all black in the dark, camouflaged by the night. All the lights in the house are off now, and I'm grabbing onto my knife. The back door is unlocked, my mask is on, I'm inside. My freezer needs to be stocked, I'm stabbing all who's inside. So I move in, scan all the rooms, she's all alone like I assume. She's dying soon, but not too quick, I'ma take my time, I'm in a violent mood. Raid the kitchen, fuck buying food, don't need the meat, she'll supply it soon. I'm on a diet, it's skinny bitches, I'm eating healthier, I'm trying to. She never stood a chance, she never stood up. After I severed vertebrae, red was squirting, her death was certain, obsessed with murdering every person. Don't ever trust me, I bet I'm worse than the best emerging. Expert working in the field of bringing death to persons, but I murk 'em.
Watch me put on a clinic, I did it for all who dig it. Nothing but raw, explicit, a visually scarring image. What makes you want to live in that body? You're non-existent. Let me put this knife in your skin and take you to a level we all will visit.
Wishing that she had some boarded doors, but of course it was too late, and I already chose her fate. Closed that gate, seen that fear all up on her face, until her brain sprayed from a flawless blade. Sick-minded, demented, that I mentioned, bipolar, prone to get vengeance. Feeling happy deep down when I hit a chainsaw start with a red like grin, and I really wanna end it, but I've been caught up putting little kids in detention. It's so easy to me, like a sixth sense in the river, bodies get tossed like a pigskin. She was deep asleep when I went into a room and got beneath the sheets. I just spooned her, I just laid next to her in the bed, shaking while I beat my meat. I'm just lonely, I just want somebody to hold me while I'm rubbing it and need to ski. It's okay, babe, I don't really wanna hurt you, I wanna coerce you to be with me. She wasn't into it, I guess, cause she tried to run up out of the room, but I'm quicker than a bitch. She got thrown back quick like a Michelin S, took the knife and I stuck it to her chest. Didn't really wanna take it here, babe, but it seems like we can never make this right. So I plunged it in and it pulled it out, the blood sprayed while I trained her fight.
Wish you gave me that chance, but now I'm too hostile, too far gone. goosebumps to the spine goes a sign, yo. Swear I don't even know where my mind goes. When half the time, what is in my mind is best seen when your eyes close. Eyes close.
I'm on some murder shit. Murder bitches get away with it. Leave a motherfucking bullet wounded, then I play with it. I'm spraying shit. Licking motherfuckers down, ho. And lick a motherfuckers blood up on the ground, bro. This be the sound, ho. I'm from the town, ho. Pittsburgh. Where all the bitches' bodies found, ho. They talk about my spree on TV. They told my mom they wanna see me. See these eyes realize the pain, the lies, the strain. The lies and cries they die, that's why I'm so filled with pain. That's why I fuck with Kane. I'm just like fuck it, man. I pull my motherfucking pistol out in public, man. It's just enough to change. I'm quick to bust my thing. I'm not alone, the fucking slug and throw it in your brain. You can't imagine what I've been through. I'll drop the heat and grab the pencil.
And we are back on Uncovering the Underground radio podcast show. That was The Intrusion by our artist Lyrazone of Brutal Business Entertainment. That is on his brand new album, Sweet Relief, which just dropped about a week or so ago. Maybe 2 weeks at this point. You want to make sure you go pick that up. It is a fucking banger. Every single track on that album is just dope. So you'll love it. You can check that out. You can go to our website or email us so we can get you in contact with his links, or you can check him out on Facebook and just search Lyrazone, Malice Incarnate, or if you just type Lyrazone, it'll pop up. But search him up on social media. He's everywhere right now. He's an absolutely amazing rap artist from Washington State, and he is a member of Brutal Business Entertainment. So what do you think of that track?
It's pretty dope. I love everything he puts out.
Yeah, he's doing some really good music. Certainly making his mark in the underground right now.
Oh yeah, he definitely is.
Now, let's see some of the comments we have coming in here. Someone saying, you are awesome just like all of BBE. Jay Allen said BBE in the house. Damien, yeah, I tuned in because Painless has been my best friend for 11 years now. I'm just so proud of who she is and how far she has come. I've been there since before she started modeling and see how much she has grown as a person and a model and is just amazing. I'm glad to see her succeed because she deserves it. Well, that's a great, certain comment from you, sir. So much love to you. We love seeing people tune in, comment during the shows for our guests, whether they're friends or you're complete strangers. Every week we bring you a show, and you can tune in and ask, our artist questions and be a part of that. We always let you meet new people and network. Like I said, that's what this show is about. But we love it when people can tune in and certainly support their friends.
I appreciate it, bud.
Absolutely. And that did bring me to a point real quick. I did want to let the fans know, as we do come to you every single week. This week we weren't going to be coming to you, so this is kind of, only because of the technical difficulty we had last Thursday. We rescheduled to a Monday, which we normally don't do, but that will be the episode for this week of Thanksgiving. Due to Thanksgiving being on a Thursday, I'm not going to have an episode. And I actually have decided to also take off next week. We did have a guest that this morning had to unfortunately drop off the show. Was going to replace it, but I'm on vacation next week, so fuck that. I'm taking it. You guys will just have to wait 2 weeks until you catch us again on Uncovering the Underground. But we got some great guests for December. We have Chelsea Effects, who is a great horror special effects makeup artist we're going to have on the show. That'll be our first makeup artist we've ever had on, so we look forward to picking her brain and finding out a little bit more about the special effects side of things. We have Deviant Horror, which is an underground horrorcore group that has been making some shockwaves in the underground. Big part of the Juggalo movement. They're always at the gathering. So if you know about them and want to hear a little bit about them, certainly tune into that episode. Husband and wife killing it together in the rap scene. And then we do have Grimm at the end of December, which is this year's winner of the MNE contest that they had, which was certainly a dope entry. Awesome rapper right now doing his thing in the underground. So got a lot of great episodes coming up in December, but this week we will not have another episode, only this one with Painless Indenial, and that's all you need. And then next week we will be taking off. But you can catch us the second week of December, which I believe is the 12th. Now, what do we expect to see from Painless Indenial coming up? Not just photo shoot wise, but is there anything that you're working on that we can expect to see from you, that we should know about? Anything out of the ordinary?
Well, like I was talking about earlier, I've definitely always wanted to start being a musician again, and I think I'm going to slowly probably work on putting out music. I think right now I'm just going to stick with covers while I slowly brainstorm writing some music, but definitely within probably the next year, I think I'm probably going to drop a song or two.
Okay, that's awesome. So you heard it, folks. She is planning on getting back into the music scene. So in the next couple years, you can see some certain tracks landing on your ear holes. Now, is it going to be on the spoons? Are you going to play some hardcore spoon solos?
Yeah, that's definitely it.
I've always wanted to be a spoon masterpiece. Just get on them spoons and kill it.
Yeah. Go ham.
I'm joking about some spoons, but there actually is a video I seen not too long ago of a dude killing it on spoons. He literally set up spoons at different levels, and it made different frequencies when you plucked them, and he killed it on the spoons. And you can wonder how does one find out that I'm going to become, a soloist on spoons? You got to ask yourself. Crazy, crazy things. Now, you've had the pleasure of going on stage with some Brutal Business artists and playing with, quite a bit of headliners, have you not?
Yes, I have.
I mean, just from recollection myself, I'm thinking of Twisted several times. I'm thinking of Axe. I'm thinking of I'm thinking Axe Murder Boys. Just a slew of people. Boondocks. You have had quite the repertoire of different artists that you've gotten to perform with. Is that correct?
Yes, I have.
How's that been? I mean, has that been a kind of a surreal thing? I mean, to get into modeling and not only start to do well with that and gain a fan base, but to also, because sometimes the modeling scene has nothing to do with the music scene, and a lot of times it doesn't. Yours is a crossbreed of, you're in the music scene, you're also in the modeling side, and you're getting to do some really big things on both.
No, I think I'm pretty lucky for that, because I was offered to dance for Ghosted Omened, which he's, part of BB. And I think the fact that I can sit here and be like, yeah, I've danced on stage as an opening act for Twisted a couple of times now is probably one of my achievements I never saw me getting to do. So it's pretty good, especially since they're probably one of my top role models up there too.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal. You're like, wow. And then after a while, it becomes even more surreal because you start to look as the numbers stack up of people. And it's funny because you as a model, a dancer on stage, have played with more headliners than most striving underground rap artists.
I know. It's weird.
It's like in your face, everybody else. I'm not even rapping and I'm kicking your ass.
No. I don't want to look at it that way.
I will, because I'm a dick. It's all right.
Is.
No, it is. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that you've gotten certainly some great opportunities. I think there'll be a lot coming up. 2019 was certainly a wonderful year for you, for the label, and for the movement. And I can only imagine, and I already pretty much know, that 2020 is going to be another one of those phenomenal years. There's a lot of things in the works right now. And I look forward to everything that the label's putting out and everything that you certainly are putting out. What would you tell to people getting into this scene? I mean, you're talking about the accomplishments that you've done and obviously some great things that are coming up. But you have a lot of people out there just getting started, not sure of their footing and what they should be doing. They're just kind of stepping in and trying to figure it out, where you once were, where I once was, and my side of things. What advice would you give to someone starting out, as far as, helping them learn quicker?
My thing is, I would think that you just have to, for once, be passionate. Like, you have to be completely sure this is what you want to do. And you have to kind of take, like, the love-hate relationship you're going to have with it. You're going to love what you're doing, but then sometimes, the feedback or, like, just your perception on it isn't going to be that great. And it's kind of a battle, because sometimes you're just like, oh, I just want to quit it all and just throw it all away. But I want people to just know, like, they just have to keep striving for it and just keep being passionate in it. And things eventually start coming to you once you start showing pretty much your confidence and your place in it.
Agreed. I absolutely agree to that. You got to stick to it. You got to stick to your guns and know that it's not always going to be right where you want it to be. You're going to have times that you're not happy with where you are. Other times you love it. It's about just always finding the reason that you do it for and continuing to push for that. Now, I'm guessing...
Whether it be for...
I was going to say, I'm guessing that there's been a lot of times, in your modeling career that you've wanted to quit, you've wanted to be done. I think we've all gone through. I think anybody that's serious, and it sounds funny to say that because most people say, well, if you want to quit, you can't be serious. No, I think most people that are serious about their task and what they do artistically are people who have probably almost quit several times. I think there's not too many people out there that can be far in their craft and not say that there's been times that they haven't thought about just walking away from it all. How did you overcome that? I feel like it's
a real thing. Yeah, I don't know how, but I think it's just, I always tell myself it's a bad day. Tomorrow you're going to wake up, you'll have a different mindset, and you'll be able to do it. So don't just throw it away the second that you're in your lowest point. So I just always hold on to that.
It's good advice. Absolutely. You killed it up there. We got a comment coming in saying 2019 was a banger year. And we got, I seen another comment roll over here. I need to check into the show more often. Well, what the fuck's wrong with you? Do it. That's what I'm going to tell you. As a new fan to the show, fucking do it, all right? Like, that's what I'm here for every week. But just remember, not next week. Every week, but next week. Now, we finished out the show, the year pretty strong on every front, the radio being one of the most. Proud to look and know that it's going to end up somewhere, and I don't know the exact official number yet, but we're going to end the year somewhere right around 50 radio episodes this year between the two radio shows. And for the first year, I feel that's pretty good. I plan on doing quite a bit more than that next year, but I want to thank all of our listeners out there for allowing us to get to the 50 episode marker by the end of the year. It's been a lot of work, and hopefully you guys like what we do with the show. Share it around, like it, spread the word, because the more you do that, the more it gives me the fuel to keep pushing, the more that it allows more people to find out about the show and the bigger and better things I can do with the show. We are booked right now until April of next year, so we have a lot of amazing artists coming your way of all different kinds. Don't miss out on it. We really appreciate your love and support on this show and all my other shows. Now, what do I want to ask you? What would be a good question? If you had to pick between putting a shootout that it just killed it. That's the shoot. You put that shoot out and you fucking blow up. That is going to be the pictures that everyone remembers for you forever. People are going to talk about it. It's going to become some type of viral sensation. But everything else that you ever put out is absolute garbage? Or do you pick putting out photo shoot after photo shoot of just awesome, amazing material, but you never seem to get any comments on it? No one's liking it. No one's sharing it. You can't figure out what the hell's going on. You're putting out gems left and right, but no one fucking cares. Or you're putting out one absolute masterpiece, but every other thing you put out is always just dumpster juice. Which do you pick?
I think I'm just going to say with putting out just amazing stuff back to back and no one really, giving me feedback for it. I think personally I'd be happy with that.
You don't think it would drive you crazy, though, to know that you're putting your heart into it? You love what you do. You know it should be top level, top tier shit, but whenever you release it, you're just like everybody else in the world now. You're just sitting staring at your little black box and you're like, give me them likes, and they never come. You know what I mean? They just never show up. You think you can handle that? Is that something that wouldn't drive you crazy?
See, maybe me a few years back, yeah, that would have drove me up a wall. Me now, I've kind of came to the understanding that, that doesn't really matter. There might even be people out there who see it and just don't even say anything, whatever, but they still remember that picture in their brain. So that, I think, means more to me than anything.
I feel you. I mean, that's good that you said that was you then, that isn't you now, because I think a lot of people are stuck in that phase where they have to get the constant, the constant buzz. So, I mean, I know that was kind of different than the two choices you have, but people are looking for those likes. They have to. So, I mean, I think that would drive a lot of people insane if they looked, knowing that they're putting out good material, but they weren't getting the likes, they would lose it. And I'm glad to hear that doesn't bother you, because you should do it, as I said earlier, for yourself, not anybody else. And if people like it, that's just a bonus. But
right, yeah.
People feed off of that adrenaline now, that brain chemical moving around in your head every time you see that like ding on your phone. You're like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's pretty crazy. It's truly started to brainwash our entire populace.
It did,
and it has, and it's scary.
It is. I feel like in a way that maybe just for me personally, I've kind of been like a loner. Like, yeah, I have people who like love me, support me, and I have them, But it's like at the same time that I've went through my life just being alone, and then even without that, like the reassurance, I guess you could call it, of social media, it's just like, I don't know, these people, they really don't have to do this for me type of thing. So I think I got comfortable in that, just knowing who I am and what I'm worth. And I feel like it takes a lot to do, because sometimes, I just feel like, oh, no one likes me. But at the same time, you never know.
No, it's going to be you, and it all falls into place. You can't try to be anything else. Just, you got to become comfortable with yourself, as you said. And that's a big thing. It takes a while to get there. And there's a point where you're always trying to please people. And then there's a point where you just don't care anymore. And you hit that point, and you're like, I'm just going to go back to why I originally started, as I said, and do this for me. And you know what? I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm comfortable with what I'm putting out. And you're either going to like it, or if you're not, well, fuck off. I don't really care.
Pretty much.
And that's how it should be. I mean, that's I've gotten there. It used to be I always wrote for myself, and I always put out music that I loved, but I always worried during that same process of like, is it going to be up to par with what people want? Is it good enough? Is it this and that? And then I reached a point where then I was just like, you know what? I'm fucking done with this. I'm going to write music that I love, as I always have, and I don't give a fuck if anybody else likes it. And then once I started doing that, it was like a massive weight had been taken off my shoulders. Like, you know what? Why wasn't I doing this all along? My early albums were a lot of frustration and darkness, but it was a lot of trying to... It's hard to explain. I don't want to say trying to be what I wanted them to be, because by no means did I craft for anybody else, but it was written with worrying about expectations, whereas my last couple albums was written off of just my attitude and just who I was. There was no worry, you know what I mean? And when you take the worry away, it allows for a lot more to be done with your music.
Mhm. Most definitely does.
We got Nate. Nate left a comment. I'll always support you. You are the shit.
Thanks, Nate.
Getting some love. Now, you mentioned earlier the cosplay, and I know that that's some things you've done in the past. You did. I wouldn't even necessarily call it cosplay, but some very abstract things like the broken doll, and things like that. And I know that you said that you are kind of focusing your modeling coming forward a little bit different in the fashion side, but can we expect to see more of things like the broken doll and different cosplay outfits and more on that side also, or is it going to be more centered towards the fashion?
Oh no, it's gonna stay like where that is, because that's just something I've always done. It's something I've always had an interest in. It's not cosplay, but it's also just like, I want to say, I guess, the dark part of like my like brain and the things I think of. I'm like, I want to bring those to life, and those are just a few things. So like the creepy side, yeah, I have a huge fascination with, and I think that's just going to be something I always carry throughout my modeling.
Good. No, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I think you do well with that end, and I would hate to see that go away. You don't have to make that your main focus, but I think there still always needs to be roots and elements of that, obviously.
Oh yeah. I just think adding more into what I'm doing already is just going to give it, like, I guess more diversity, you could call it, but at the same time, like, yeah, you're always going to have what I find that I really love, and I know that a few of my fans really, really love. And then I just want to add something in to see if, like, maybe they would like that too. So I'm just kind of, like, peeking into different elements of my own. I know that personally, like, if I don't like them, then I probably won't keep doing it, but just want to try and test out some stuff. I have a lot of ideas that I've had stirring in my head for years now, and I think I'm slowly going to be able to bring them to life.
Good. Bring them to life. And I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, if you are happy with what you put out, you like the ideas that you bring out, some of them are going to be hits. Some of them are not going to be. But at the end of the day, they're all hits to you because you're proud of what you put out. It's just some had a better reaction with your fans, some didn't. So you have to look at it like that. Like, hey, I still put out 20 masterpieces. Maybe 15 of them were really liked, 5 of them weren't. But you know what? I'm completely cool with that because all 20 were masterpieces to me.
Right.
Because I put out songs that I thought should have been way bigger than they were, and I'm just like, wow, okay, that threw me off. And I put out ones that I thought were good, but they would never be anything big, and they started to be the ones that everyone talked about. And I'm like, okay, well, that's you never know what people's taste is going to be, especially over time. It changes, as we said earlier with music. It kind of comes full circle. Things go through different waves. What's hot one minute isn't the next.
Right.
Now, talking about that, what's worked for you? I mean, as far as like with, the new age being very derivative off of social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube. I mean, what is the sites that you found helpful for your promotion? What's the do's and don'ts on that? Because I think that's an important thing for people to hear in the genre, because I don't even know what's hot anymore. I don't know what's the site to be on or what's the best way to promote it. I pretty much stick with Instagram and Facebook as the only thing I use. What about yourself?
I use probably Instagram more than anything right now. I still use Facebook a whole lot, but I haven't found any other social media I completely like. I did used to do YouTube years ago, but I felt like that was just, I don't know. I kind of was just using it, and then I would check back in to see how many views I got, and then I just kind of just didn't like that I was doing that, so I steered away. But yeah, Instagram, for modeling, everyone always says it's great, and like I do watch a lot of photographers and a lot of models put out tons and tons of great work, but they don't get as much recognition as some people on Instagram, and I still haven't figured it out. Like, I've been trying to watch other people and what they do. I don't know what will work for other people.
It's all about the hashtags, I'm telling you.
I know. A lot of them are blacklisted too that you don't think are, that I have finally realized too. There's a really odd one. and I typed it in, and it was just like, if you use that hashtag, like your post basically just gets unplugged. Like nobody will see it but like your followers, and even lucky with that because they think you're a bot or you're pretty much posting porn.
It's weird. I used to, and I don't know what's going on because I started out, I've had Instagram for years and years now, since it first came out, and it took me forever to build up. I built up a great fan base. I had quite a number on there. I've lost a good chunk of them. I lost about 2,000 fans over the last probably 2 years, and it hasn't really grown much. I'll get 50 likes, I'll lose 60. I'll get 60, I'll lose 50. It goes back and forth over and over. Going to stay around the same number, but I don't really get much action on there anymore. I put a picture up, I might get 50 to 100 likes if I'm lucky, sometimes 120, and that's it. And I have 13,000 people, which is insane to me. But I can see other people put a picture up and get 2,000 likes on it, and they have the same amount of people on their things, and I'm posting up a lot of really crazy artwork and things like that. It's just weird to me how social media works. Same thing with Facebook. I have a lot of fans on Facebook, but only about 5% of them get to see my posts.
Right. I believe it's all the stuff they've been doing too, like they're not showing a whole lot of posts to a whole lot of people either. Just like all the algorithms are like so messed up, and I feel like people are trying to beat them all, and in a way it's just like clogging it, so now nobody's seeing nobody's stuff, because same thing happens with us and the BBE people. People are like, oh, I posted this up, or this is going on, or this is going on, and I don't see it until like days and days later, and I'm like, why is this happening? And I wonder if it's like that for just everyone in general.
It has to be, because I've seen weird things too, as you mentioned that now, where it is a couple days later, I'm seeing a post from a couple days prior that it's news to me. I'm thinking it was posted that day. I see it, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And I scroll up and look, and I'm like, oh, this was from 4 days ago. I'm like, why is it popping up now? Everything else is in the last 20 minutes, and all of a sudden, smack dab in the last 20-minute posts, boom, there's your friend from 4 days ago. And you're like, okay, I didn't interact with it. No one else interacted with it, that it should be popping up. It just like does its own thing, and Facebook decides this is when we're going to fucking smack you in the face with it.
Right.
And it makes it really hard when you're trying to promote an album. Like, hey, my brand new album just dropped. Let's try to get thousands of likes in the first 24 hours. And then they see it on day 6.
Right, yeah.
Kind of defeats the purpose, you know what I mean? So it makes it really hard, and the part of that is you have to pay for the promotion, which you can do, and they give you good promotion plans, and you can really, make your reach more effective. But the problem I've noticed, at least this is my theory, is when you pay for the paid promo, then it changes the algorithm somehow. And then it allows it to work pretty good the first few times. You really make an impact. You like it.
Right.
You decide, okay, I'm going to start using a lot more paid promo. You start to do it, but you don't get as much of a reach. So then you have to pay for more to get the same reach that you once did. And then it just keeps happening, and then it gets to the point where they limit your regular natural organic reach, so then now no one's seeing your shit unless you use promo. But when you use the promo, you don't get as much reach as you once did. You have to pay for more to get the same high. It's just like a drug, folks. You got to pay more to get the same high that you once did, and then a little bit more, and now nothing else is getting you there. It's fucking sick, and that needs to stop, because that is a problem that is hurting our scene right now, that the underdog can't get his voice heard, but the big dogs are blocking out everything, and they are the ones that shouldn't be heard. And I'm not going against Facebook, so no one please take that from this. I'm saying social media in general, and how the new way of digital promotion is sick.
It is. It very much is.
It's hard to get out there. I mean, how do you promote yourself? What are you doing right now to get? Because you actually, have quite a nice following behind you. How did you reach them? Like, what are you doing that you've noticed works for you?
I don't know. It depends. Sometimes, I'll post photo shoot after photo shoot after photo shoot, and, all of them are just, exploding, going all over the place. And then it's after a bit, after I keep posting them, I slowly notice, everyone starts dropping off of it. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm oversaturating myself. So I'll, cool it for a little bit, and then I'll drop, like, you know, other stuff, and it just kind of, like, bounces right back up. Like, everybody is like, oh, hey, like, she's doing some stuff. Oh, what did I miss? I'm going to go through and look at everything, and I'm thinking maybe that is doing it, but other than that, I'm just kind of wanging it. Like, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do this, see if it does good or not. All right, this was kind of okay. Maybe I didn't post at the right time of day. Like, I do try to aim my post towards the evening, because I've noticed that is when the most people see it, because everyone, I think, is probably at home.
Yeah, I think that's it. Most people are home from work at that point. They're relaxing. They have a chance to actually listen to the music. But the problem with that is, too, is that, once again, it's a double-edged sword. You only have so much time free after work when you're home, and there's millions of things to choose from. So what do you put your attention to? Which model? Which musician? Which, you know, game? What are you going to pick to take up that little bit of free time that you have? So, and whenever you do want to see it, you know, you jump on and you're expecting your digital box to tell you the newest and coolest things that you need to be looking at. And it doesn't tell you for 4 goddamn days that something should have came out and that you should have seen it. So that's the problem, folks. That's what I'm getting to. It's all a failed circle.
Pretty much is.
I thought that was just my Facebook being stupid. That's what Damien said. He said, I thought that was just my Facebook being stupid. No, it is everyone on Earth fucking with us.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we're going to jump into one more song break. We're going to come back. We're going to finish up the interview, let you tell us where we can check your, you know, obviously your photos out at and all your shoots, and who you would like to thank, and then we'll go ahead and give our closing statements and wrap up for the evening.
Okay.
We're going to jump into, let's see, who do we want to jump into? We're going to go... Next up online was myself, so I'm actually going to play a song for myself, if that's okay, folks. We're going to play Coin Flip. This is off of our Anthems from the Asylum mixtape, if you haven't picked that up. 12 tracks exclusively on the Brutal Business mixtape on all online major retailers. This song will not be found anywhere else. If you haven't picked it up or heard it yet, this will be your first time hearing so, and you, like I said, can't find it anywhere else, so check it out and let me know what you think of it. This is Coin Flip by myself, Skippy Ickham, on Uncovering the Underground.
Yo, what up, everybody? It's your man Skippy Ickham of Brutal Business Entertainment, and I'm very excited to bring to you Anthems from the Asylum, an exclusive mixtape from the label you won't find anywhere else. It's that hardcore shit for your ear, pussy, bitch. Yeah, listen.
There's too many people rapping now, it feels like it's everyone. But yo, I'm a veteran, which means that you'll better run. Who's your favorite rapper, bitch? Nah, pick a better one. Either way, I'll bring the darkness like the setting sun. I set fire to your dreams, do it just for fun. I'm Tupac and Biggie, I'm Big L and Pun mixed in a pot, now I'm spewing it back on every track that I smash when I'm unleashing my rap. I got your girl with my Sukasa, I'm breaking her back, and after that she jerked me off, but she be sucking my sack. We jump inside the whip and now we heading out from my pad right back towards your place. Why? Cause I'm giving her back. She thought that I was gonna wipe her, but that shit made me laugh. I was only in it for the ass, she's only in it for the cash. I never cared for your baby, besides that pussy was trash. Might have been a John to you, but I ain't giving you jack. Nah,
Burn the game, yo, better get some ointment. I'm doing all of this just for my enjoyment. This the battlefield, I'm ready for deployment. You wanna test your fake, kid, and leave it to the coin flip.
I'm blown colder, yet spit fire like a flamethrower. Fire any shots through your Range Rover. Hollow point, game over. Watch your body burn, watch it smolder. You'll never grow older, motherfucker, I'm a soldier, so no remorse for an enemy dead. There's no sorrow lurking in this head. True psycho. And when I aim, I'm busting for your head. I cock back, now I'm dressed in red. True psycho. I like to pause for dramatic effect. I like to pause while I'm choking your neck. I like to kick back and crack a cold one because your boy is blessed. Celebrate life while I watch your death. There's no respect. So who's next? Who's fucking with the tyrant? You're small time, I'm a motherfucking giant. I'm live on stage, my presentations are timeless. You died on stage, your shit is boring and lifeless.
Burn the game, yo, better get some ointment. I'm doing all of this just for my enjoyment. This the battlefield, I'm ready for deployment. You wanna test your fake, kid, and leave it to the coin flip.
The drugs that you're taking, clouding out your optics. Games that you're playing on fun, fucking stop it, it's nonsense. Don't make me come up with concoctions to take you out using my raging sharp objects. I'm the
the type to punch you dead in the face. Breaking your house at night, I'll leave you fucking dead in your place. I'm the angel with death, and yes, my presence is great. Capture your soul for eternity, my minion and slave. There's no escape, no getting away from the anger and rage. Bear witness to my fury and flames. The same one that'll beat you to death without breaking a sweat's the one that had your girl screaming his name. It's Ick'em. Had enough of all this hip-hop shit, because rap now is trash with these dudes sucking dick, dressing like little faggots while they acting like a bitch. You getting smashed like glass when I crack your ribs, because
I'm burning the game, yo better get some ointment. I'm doing all of this just for my enjoyment. This the battlefield, I'm ready for deployment. You wanna test your fake kid and leave it to the coin flip?
And that was Coin Flip by myself, Skippy Ickham. It just kind of worked out like that. We were taking a break, and it was the next one up in our playlist lineup. So figured I'd throw that out to you guys and let you check it out. If you liked it, leave me a coin flip. Leave me a coin flip, guys, if you liked it. I don't know what the hell that means exactly, but leave me a comment if you liked Coin Flip, and you can do that on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app. As I said, that allows you to leave comments, feedback, ask questions of the guest of the evening. Tonight we have Painless Indenial on the line. She's been with us the last hour and a half, and we're getting ready to wrap up the show. But if you missed it, don't fret. We can always, let you hear it again by going to any of the online retailers out there or streaming platforms and listening to the entire episode. You just look up, Uncovering the Underground under Brutal Business Entertainment Radio, and you will find our show. And not only this show, but all of our past 36 episodes prior to this, and also my paranormal show, Celestial Oddities. All of that is at your fingertip and at your disposal. And just search up Brutal Business Entertainment on any of the streaming platforms out there, and you'll certainly find us. And make sure you pick up Anthems from the Asylum mixtape from Brutal Business Entertainment. It's on all online major retailers. We would really appreciate it. We're still selling them. We have physicals in person, but you can't beat it. 12 exclusive tracks you won't find anywhere else. So what did you think of that mixtape? Were you a fan of the mixtape?
Oh, yeah, I definitely was. Everybody did completely amazing. I was, so happy. I kept playing it for days. I still play it.
I think it turned out really well. I mean, I think as an overall group project, that was our fourth or fifth, I think fourth, label mixtape since, we started over the years. And that by far is the best, the most the most work went into that one. And it shows. I mean, you listen to it, and it just is a banger from start to finish. It is more of a group project, whereas the other ones were more of a compilation album of just a bunch of music. This was put together as a project, as a family, and you hear that when you listen to it. It's just a solid body of work.
It really is. Everybody came together and put everything they could into it, and it came out so amazing. Couldn't be more proud of everyone.
I couldn't be either. I love watching all the things that all of you guys do, whether wrestling, modeling, music, events, you name it. All you guys and girls out there are killing it on Brutal Business, and I couldn't be more proud. Why don't you tell us where we can check out your art, your modeling, everything that you put out, where we can find you, on what we can find you, and also tell us who you would like to give a shout out to.
Well, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Just type in Painless Indenial. I use those the most. Those are when you're going to see my first drop photo shoots. I post on my Instagram story more than anything. So if you want just little random updates or music I find, you can look at that. My YouTube, I said earlier, you just type in Painless Indenial. If you want to look at any of my past videos over the last, years. And then I use Tumblr. You can just type in Painless Indenial there. I post a lot of, sometimes my modeling work, but mainly it's just artwork I find that I think would be interesting to other people. That's about where all you can find me. I would like to give a shout out to a bunch of people. Honestly, everybody here at BB, they're great artists, all my Brutal babes. And I would like to thank my family and my friends who have supported me, and you in Uncovering the Underground. Just anybody out there who's been my fan or who's been there for me, or just new people out there. Just like to thank you guys all.
Well, you heard it, folks. Much love from Painless Indenial to all of you for showing love and support over the years and for all the years to come. Make sure you check out everything that she's got coming out on all of her platforms and give her a like, a follow, and a listen. Listen, I can't talk tonight. I don't know, folks. I'm fucking stupid. Don't listen to me. Give her a like and give her a follow. Give her a share is what I meant to say as well. And certainly spread her art around. Let people see it. Let other people find out about it. Follow her modeling. There's a lot of things coming in 2020 that you guys will be excited to see, one of which is the Babes of Brutal Business Entertainment calendar, so make sure you pick that up. As I said, they are still on pre-sale now for a little bit longer. That is $15 at teambrutalbusiness.com. After the New Year's, it does go up, so get it while supplies last. They are going quick, so make sure you pick one up. Other than that, we do want to thank all of our listeners out there for always checking out the show. In 2 weeks, on the 12th of December, we will be back with Chelsea Effects talking about special makeup, artistry, and how you can make yourself look very good this next Halloween season. We just passed Halloween, but we're going to talk to you about what you can do next year, what you can do throughout the year if you're into special effects. A lot of fun things coming up on that episode. And we also have a lot of great things happening on the Celestial Oddities side, including a 9-hour investigation of Hillview Manor this weekend by myself on a solo mission. So I will be bringing you an episode talking about the discoveries and experiences I had while there, as well as our 2 episodes in December, one on karma for the Christmas season, and also one on Ingrid Cole and Men in Black. So some very interesting topics and subjects coming your way on Celestial Oddities in December. Stay tuned. And other than that, we want to thank you for always showing love and supporting us. Like I said, hit the share button, and we'll see you next time. Painless Indenial, thank you so much for being on the show, and you have a wonderful night.
And thank you for having me. You have a wonderful night, too.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Peace out.